Well, we're coming off the whole George Floyd protest. And I mean, it's still going. You go to Portland and they just burned up one of the police stations. When you look at sports opening back up, and this is coming off of the whole Kaepernick thing where he got blackballed for kneeling. Now they're allowing people to put messages on the back of their jerseys.
Put what on the back of their jersey?
Messages or names.
Names on NBA
names. Yeah. When you look at that and you look at people protesting in professional sports, I mean, number one, how much of that did you see during your day?
None. You didn't see none of that during our day. The guy that we was just talking about, Craig Hodges, he didn't protest. He was just speaking on some topics, and a lot of people they wasn't ready for it. Basically, a lot of people wasn't ready for it. 4 years ago, they wasn't ready for it, when Kaepernick did it, so, but enough is enough now. Enough is enough. It's time for equally, justice around the whole board. And people are getting stopped. Black people are getting stopped for no reason at all. And officers are out there lying and knowing that the African American don't want to go to court or don't want to pay money to go to court. So then they have a record on them. But if they had money to go to court to show their innocence, then it wouldn't be, that many of us in jail. I seen a guy on TV in Michigan. His brother, 20 years ago, his brother shot somebody, killed them, knew that he was going to shoot and kill them. They put both of them in jail. His brother wasn't even in the same city. And they know that. And they said, yes, you was with him. And he's still in jail today. And he's serving a 40-year sentence. And so, like I said, they always want us to tell the truth, but they don't believe that we are telling the truth. So if you don't believe us telling the truth, why you ask us to tell the truth? If you're not going to believe us, or you lying, and then they make up some other stuff. That's what the problem is today. You stop somebody, then you tell them, yeah, you was speeding. When they know they wasn't speeding, you just stopping them. Which is that's just lying. And then they go to court, and then the judge is like, no, it didn't go that way. But you don't know how it went. You don't know when they turned on the camera. You don't know when they turned it off. You don't know a lot of things, but they go by what the police say because the police supposed to be right. No, the police is just wrong, and they know they wrong, and they know they doing us injustice, and they getting away with it. So enough is enough, and I like what the NBA is doing, letting them be on a platform to talk about it, because people want to hear us talk. And Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, all those guys are talking. And this is the platform to be talking, because you're going to be on TV all the time. If there wasn't a bubble, if there wasn't you going to play basketball now, then you would have to pick, and you have to have a camera crew over to your house. Then you have to go to the station. Right now, you don't have to have that. All that's going to be right there. And every day that you play from the 30th on, you could be able to talk about the injustice that was going on in this world today, in the United States today, and you can get your point across. And that's what I like about being in a bubble.
Well, yeah, I remember when I talked to Craig, and you may or may not know this part of his story, but when the Bulls were playing the Lakers, he personally spoke to both Jordan and Magic about not taking the court. Jordan told him he was crazy, and Magic said that's too extreme. Okay, so then in 91, the Bulls get to the championships.
Yes.
And you guys played the Lakers with Magic Johnson.
Absolutely.
Well, before game one, you actually approached both Jordan and Magic.
Right.
And you suggested that the teams not take the floor.
Right.
As a protest to the social injustice that's happening with black people in America.
And see, it wasn't just and that's I think my position at that point in time was we didn't have black owners, black management, black executives. At that point in time, we have an opportunity with 21 of the 24 athletes. You know, and that's one of the things I was talking to Horace Grant about that this morning because he called me to get clarification. And I was telling Horace, I was like, brother, when I was talking to y'all in 1991, half of y'all was looking at me like I had my third eye literally outside of my head. So when I would ask y'all, brothers, what about us boycotting? It was so cursory to y'all. It was so like nonsensical. It was just a fleeting thought. So when I brought it to Magic and MJ, y'all didn't take it serious. I know y'all didn't. So it was, once again, it was serious to me. But in hindsight, could I have done it by myself and just sat down, but sacrifice that moment of work? Nah. And it wouldn't nobody care. So for me, I understood how they looked at it at that period of time. And I saw how easy it was for them to cast aside the fact of how much power y'all truly have. That y'all actually got power to make these changes, but y'all don't even consider it as a serious thought process. Y'all don't even consider it to look at in 1963 when Jerry West and Elgin Baylor said that we were going to boycott the All-Star game, and we got a Players Association out of that. So their willingness to do it back then in 1963 gives you the ability to be Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and whoever else has come after them, because we have all garnered on the sacrifices that those two players that we know of, let alone the unsung players that we don't know about, who sacrificed so that we could get this bread that we making today.
Like I said, at that particular time, people wasn't ready for that. I mean, people wasn't ready for it, and especially in the 80s. I mean, they still not ready for Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan. They still get on him and his negative comments about him. But it's they don't want us to speak up. They don't want us to talk. And now it's our platform to talk. Back then, that was just, you gotta walk before you crawl. I mean, you gotta crawl before you walk. And at that particular stage, I think Craig Hodges was crawling, but he wanted to run and sprint first. So yeah, that was kind of extreme.
Well, yeah, I remember when I interviewed Chuck D just recently, and we talked about Jordan and LeBron. He said that the comparisons with Jordan and LeBron end on the court. Once you get off the court, there's really no comparison. Because remember, Jordan did the whole Republicans buy sneakers too thing, and he didn't want to support the politician that was running against Jesse Helms in North Carolina. Right. He wouldn't even take a picture with him. That was covered in The Last Dance. You fast forward to what LeBron is doing, and he's speaking out. He's putting money behind the causes and so forth. Jordan is putting some money behind it now, but it seems kind of like almost damage control as opposed to him really being passionate about these causes.
So to talk about comparing LeBron James and Michael Jordan stops on the court and it goes in a different place with LeBron.
Oh yeah, no, LeBron has done so much more off the court than Jordan that it's not even.
But I'm not even going to get into. I'm not going to get in the area of what Jordan isn't. But I'm saying, LeBron's time, he recognized who he is in this time, and was fearless about going about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, you talk to Sal. Sal will tell you at that time, Craig Hodges was that man. He just wasn't the superstar.
Yeah.
John Sally would tell you, coming under the wing of Isaiah, never to be fearless. You walk, like you 7'1", you don't be 7'1" and act like you 6'9".
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not playing small ball. You 7'1", stand tall, man. So LeBron is also evolutionary too. He's not revolutionary. It's the same thing even when people talk about hip hop. Public Enemy is revolutionary in hip hop. Things are evolutionary. It doesn't say revolutionary and evolutionary is better than or less than. It's just that evolution comes out of you, and you got to recognize to grab it and go forward with it, and maybe be revolutionary in some things, but things have been done before. You could carry it further, and that's what LeBron James does in sports. Talib Kweli has done in hip hop. He's him and Mos Def come along, and Black Star, they're evolutionary because they said we know where to take this and even be further fearless in it.
When you see what LeBron is doing right now, what are your thoughts of it?
LeBron been doing it the whole time, not just George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. He was trademarked, and a few other killing in Cleveland. He just been behind all the movements. He always voice his opinion. He do stuff, social media that let everybody know he got their back. LeBron just a different animal. He's like what Ali did back in the 60s. Ali, Jim Brown, Bill Russell, them guys, But LeBron, he's showing special a leader on the court, leader off the court. And what he was doing, I think he was, in the last, like I said, 17 years he's been around, no one done it better. No one.